Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you once again joining me and the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra. This is our Thursday night study of the Dharma, which is very good to do. Thank you for everyone joining me and all your friends as you are seated with the good discipline and having made your time. It's very good to make your attention. It's very good to make your intention and purpose and good concentration, altruistic motivation and concentration with which we shall now focus on the subject today. And as usual, before we start, we will do the prayers to acknowledge our common faith and devotion and belief in the teachings of the Enlightened One, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the Triple Gem, and as well as a commitment to practice loving kindness, compassion, joyfulness, equanimity for the benefit of all before we read and listen to the teachings. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, enlightenment, Bhavachu, Ajivendala, Ajare, Buddha, Ujuvebe, Genda, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Ajare, enlightenment, Bhavachu, Ajivendala, Ajare, Buddha, Ujuvebe, Genda, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Ajare, enlightenment, Bhavachu, Ajivendala, Ajare, Buddha, Ujuvebe, Genda, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Ajare, enlightenment, Bhavachu, Ajivendala, Ajare, Buddha, may all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they never part from happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, those near far. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they never part from happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, those near far. May all beings have happiness and a cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they never part from happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, those near and far. Now we recite the Heart Sutra mantra for a little while, meditating on the ultimate view, the truth, the emptiness of all things. Tadyadam gadengade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso. Dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso. Dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade Barazangade Buddhazo, Dadangade Barangade Barazangade Buddhazo, 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 Dadangade Barangade Barazangade Buddhazo. Dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso. Dadangade barangade barazangade bodhiso, dadangade barang Parazanga de Bodhizo. So, just a reminder that our topic of the subject we are studying is Vishuddhimagga, the very famous classic by Buddhagosha, who came in 5th century, who is a very important figure, almost as important as Nagarjuna in Mayan tradition. So we have the good fortune to read through his very classic. So we have finished all the first 6 chapters. Tonight we're going to read through the 7th chapter, the description of concentration. The subject is 6 recollections. 1. Now 10 recollections were listed, and next after the kinds of the foulness. As to this, mindfulness itself is recollection, because it arises again and again, or alternately mindfulness that is proper for a clansman gone forth out of faith, since it occurs only in those instances where it should occur, is recollection. The recollection arisen inspired by the Enlightened One is the recollection of the Buddha. That's the first of the 10 recollections. This is a term for mindfulness with the Enlightened One's special qualities as its object. The recollection arises inspired by the law in the recollection of Dharma. This is the term for mindfulness with the special qualities of the laws being well proclaimed, etc., as its object. That's the second. The third is recollection arisen inspired by the community, is a recollection of the Sangha. This is a term for mindfulness with community special qualities being entered on the good way, etc., as a subject. The recollection arisen inspired by virtue of recollection of virtue. This is a term for mindfulness with special qualities of virtues, untornness, etc., as its object. The recollection arisen inspired by generosity is the recollection of generosity. This is a term for mindfulness with generosity, special qualities of free generosity, etc., as its object. The recollection arisen inspired by deities is the recollection of deity. This is a term for mindfulness with the special qualities of one's own faith, etc., as its objects, with deities standing as witnesses. The recollection arisen inspired by death is recollection of death. This is a term for mindfulness with the termination of the life faculty as its object. Mindfulness occupied with the body, it is gone to the material body. It is that is analyzed into head hairs, etc., or it is gone into the body. Thus, it is body gone. It is body gone. It is the mindfulness. Thus, it is body gone mindfulness, single, compounded, but instead of shortening, thus in a usual way, body gone mindfulness is said. This is a term for mindfulness that has its object the sign of bodily parts consisting of head hairs and the rest. The mindfulness arisen inspired by breathing is mindfulness breathing. This is a term for mindfulness that has its object the sign of in-breath and out-breath. The recollection arisen inspired by the peace is a recollection of peace. This is a term, mindfulness, that has its object stilling all sufferings. So those are just introducing the 10 subjects of recollection. Now, to explain the first subject of recollection, recollection of the Enlightened One. Now, a meditator with absolute confidence, he wants to develop firstly the recollection of the enlightened one. Among these 10 should go into a solitary retreat in a favorable abode and recollect the special qualities of enlightened one, the blessed one, as follows. That blessed one is such, since he is accomplished, fully enlightened, endowed with clear vision and virtues, conduct, sublime, and knower of the world, incomparable leader of men to be tamed, teacher of gods and men, and the enlightened and blessed. Here is the way he recollects. The blessed one is such, he is accomplished. He is such, he is fully enlightened. He is such, he is blessed. He is so for these reasons is what is meant. The accomplished. 4. Herein what he recollects firstly is the blessed one is accomplished, arhanta, for the following reasons. Because of remoteness, and because of his enemies, and because the spokes having been destroyed, and because his worthiness of requisites, etc. 5. Because of his absence of secret evil doing. 1. He stands utterly remote and far away from all defilements, because he has expunged all trace of defilement by means of the path. Because of such remoteness, he is accomplished, arhan. A man remote, indeed, we call, from something he has not at all, the Saviour too that has no stain, may well the name accomplished gain. 6. All these enemies, Ari, the defilements, are destroyed, Hatha, by the path. Because the enemies are thus destroyed, he is accomplished, Arhat. Also, the enemies Ari that were deployed, greed and the rest, have been destroyed, Hatha. By his the helper's wisdom sword, so he is accomplished all accord. 3. Now, this wheel of the round of the birth, with its hub made of ignorance and of craving for becoming, with its spokes consisting of formations of merit and the rest, with its rim of aging and death, which is joined to the chariot of triple becoming by piercing it with the axle made out of origin of cankers, has been revolving throughout the time that has no beginning. All these wheels' spokes were destroyed by him at the place of enlightenment, as he stood firm with the feet of energy on the ground of virtue, wielding in the hand the faith of axle of knowledge that destroys karma. Because the spokes are thus destroyed, he is accomplished arhat also. Or alternatively, it is the beginningless round of rebirth that is called wheel of round of rebirth. Ignorance is its hub because it is the root. Aging and death is its rim because it terminates it. The remaining 10 states of the dependent ordination are its spokes, because ignorance is root and aging and death their termination. 9. Herein, ignorance is unknowing about suffering and the rest, and ignorance in sensual becoming is a condition for formation in sensual becoming. Ignorance in fine material becoming is the condition for formation in fine material becoming. Ignorance in immaterial becoming is a condition for formation in immaterial becoming. 10. Formation is sensual becoming are a condition for rebirth linking consciousness in sensual becoming, and similarly with the rest. The rebirth linking consciousness is sensual becoming is a condition for material materiality in sensual becoming. Similarly, in fine material becoming, in immaterial becoming, it is a condition for mentality only. 12. Mentality, materiality is sensual becoming is a condition for sixfold base in sensual becoming. The mentality, materiality in fine materiality becoming is a condition for three bases of fine material becoming. Mentality in immaterial becoming is a condition for one base in immaterial becoming. The sixfold base is sensual becoming is a condition for six kinds of contact, sensual becoming. Three bases for fine material becoming are conditioned for three kinds of contact in fine material becoming. The mind base alone is immaterial becoming is a condition for one kind of contact in immaterial becoming. 14. The six kinds of contact in sensual becoming are conditioned for six kinds of feeling in sensual becoming. Three kinds of contact in fine material becoming are conditioned for three kinds of feeling there too. One kind of contact in immaterial becoming is conditioned for one kind of feeling there too. The six kinds of feeling in sensual becoming are conditioned for six groups of craving in sensual becoming. Three in the fine material becoming are for three there too. One kind of feeling in the immaterial becoming is conditioned for one group of craving in the immaterial becoming. The craving in the several kinds of becoming is a condition for clinging there. 16. Clinging, etc. are the respective conditions for becoming and the rest. In what way? Here someone thinks, I shall enjoy sense desires, and with the sense desire clinging as condition, he misconduct himself in body, speech, and mind. Owing to the fulfillment of his misconduct, he reappears in a state of loss and deprivation. The karma that is the cause of his reappearance, there is karma process becoming. The aggregate generated by the karma are rebirth process becoming. The generating of the aggregate is birth, their maturing is aging, and their dissolution is death. And other things, I shall enjoy the delights of heaven, and in the parallel manner he conduct himself well. Owing to the fulfillment of his good conduct, he reappears in essential sphere heaven. The karma that is the cause of his reappearance, there is karma process becoming, and the rest as before. 18. And other things, I shall enjoy the delight in the Brahma world, and with sense desire clinging as condition, he develops loving kindness, compassion, gladness, equanimity. Owing to the fulfillment of the meditative development, he is reborn in the Brahma world. The karma that is the cause of his birth, there is karma process becoming, and the rest is as before. 19. Yet another thing is, I shall enjoy the delights of immaterial becoming, and with the same condition he develops the attainments, beginning with the base consisting of boundless space. Owing to the fulfillment of the development, he is reborn in one of these states. The karma that is of the cause of birth, there is karma processing becoming. The aggregate generated by the karma are rebirth process becoming, generating of the aggregates of birth. Their maturing is aging, their dissolution is death. The remaining kinds of clinging are construable in the same way. So, understanding of discernment of condition, thus ignorance is a cause, formation is a causally arisen, both these states are causally arisen, is the knowledge of the causal relationship of states. Understanding of discernment of condition, thus, to the past and in the future, ignorance is a cause, formation is a causally arisen, both these states are usually causally arisen, is knowledge of the causal relationship of states. And all the clauses should be given in detail in this way. 21. Herein, ignorance and formations are one summarization, consciousness, mentality, materiality, six sense base, contact and feeling are another. Craving, clinging and becoming are another. And birth and aging and death are another. Here the first summarization is past. The two middle ones are present. The birth and aging and death are future. When ignorance and formations are mentioned, then also craving, clinging and formation are mentioned. Then also craving, aging and becoming are included too. So these five states are round of karma in the past. The five beginning with consciousness are round of karma result in the present. When craving, clinging and becoming are mentioned, then also ignorance and formations are included. So these five states are in the round of karma in the present. And because the five beginning with consciousness are described under the heading of birth and aging and death, these five states are round of karma result in the future. These make 20 aspects in this way, and here there is one link between formation and consciousness, one between feeling and craving, one between becoming and birth. 22. Now the Blessed One knew, saw, understood, and penetrated all these aspects, this dependent origination, with its full summarization, its three states, its 20 aspects, and its three links. Knowledge is the sense of that being known, and understanding is in the sense of act of understanding that. Hence it was said, understanding of discernments of condition is knowledge of the causal relationship of states. Thus, when the Blessed One, by correctly knowing these states, with knowledge of relationship states, became dispassionate towards them, when his greed faded away, when he was liberated, then he quite destroyed, abolished, and spoke of the wheel of the round of rebirth of the kind just described. Because the spokes are thus destroyed, he is accomplished Arhat. The spokes Arha of rebirth will have been broken, destroyed Hatha with wisdom's weapon keen, by him the helper of the world, and so accomplished Arhat he is called. 23. Number 4. And he is worthy, Arhanti, of the requisites of robes, etc., and of the distinction of being accorded homage, because it is he who is most worthy of offerings. For when a perfect one has arisen, important deities and human beings pay homage to none also, no Brahma Sahampati paid homage to the perfect one with jewel garland as big as Siniru, and other deities did so according to their means, as well as such human beings as the King Bimbisara of Magadha and the King of Kosala. And after Blessed One had finally attained Nibbana, King Ashoka renounced wealth to the amount of 96 million for his sake, and founded 84,000 monasteries throughout all Jambudvipa. And so, with all these, what need to speak of others? Because of worthiness of the requisites, he is accomplished Arhat also. So he is worthy, the helper of the world, the homage paid with the requisite, the world accomplished Arhat has this meaning to the world, hence the victor is worthy of that world. 5. And he does not act like those fools in the world who want their cleverness and yet do evil, but in secret for fear of getting the bad name. Because of absence of secret evil doing, he is accomplished Arhat also. No secret evil deed may claim, and an author so august the name accomplished Arhat is his deservedly by absence of such secrecy. 25, sorry. So in all ways, the sage of remoteness unalloyed, vanquished defiling foes deployed, the spokes of rebirth will destroyed, worthy of requisites employed, secret evil he does avoid. For those 5 reasons he may claim this word accomplish for his name. Fully enlightened. He is fully enlightened, Samyak Sambuddha, because he has discovered all things rightly and by himself. In fact, all things were discovered by him rightly by himself, in that he discovered of the things to be directly known, that must be directly known, that is learning about the 4 truths, of all the things to be fully understood, that they must be fully understood. That is penetration of suffering, of the things to be abandoned, that they should be abandoned. That is penetration of the origin of suffering, of the things to be realized, that they must be realized. That is penetration of the cessation of suffering. And things to be developed, that must be developed. That is penetration of the path. Hence it is said, what must be directly known is directly known. What has to be developed has been developed. What has to be abandoned has been abandoned. And that Brahman is why I'm enlightened. 27. Beside, he has discovered all things rightly by himself, step by step. Thus, the I is the truth of suffering. The prior craving that originated it by being its root cause is the truth of origin. The non-occurrence of both is the truth of cessation. The way which is the act of understanding cessation is the truth of the path. And so too is the case of the ear, the nose, tongue, body, and the mind. And the following things should be construed in the same way. The 6 bases beginning with the visible object. 6 groups of consciousness beginning with eye consciousness. 6 kinds of contact beginning with eye contact. 6 kinds of feeling beginning with eye contact bond. 6 kinds of perception beginning with perception of visible object. 6 kinds of volition beginning with the volition about visible object. 6 kinds of craving beginning with the craving for visible object. 6 kinds of applied thought beginning with applied thought about visible object. 6 kinds of sustained thought beginning with sustained thought about visible object. 5 aggregates beginning with 5 aggregates of matter. The 10 kasinas, 10 recollections, the 10 perceptions beginning with perception of the bloated, 32 aspects of the body beginning with the head hairs, 12 bases, 18 elements, 9 kinds of becoming beginning with sensual becoming, the 4 jhanas beginning with the first, the 4 measureless states beginning with the one developing loving kindness, 4 immaterial attainments, the factors of dependent origination in reverse order beginning with aging and death, and forward order beginning with ignorance and so on. Here, in this is the construction of a single clause of the dependent origination. Aging and the death is the truth of suffering. Birth is the truth of origin. Escape from this both is the truth of cessation, and the way which is the act of understanding cessation is the truth of the path. In this way, he has discovered, progressively discovered, completely discovered, all states rightly and by himself step by step. Hence it was said above, he is fully enlightened because he has discovered all things rightly and by himself. Endowed with a clear vision and virtuous conduct. He is endowed with the clear vision and virtuous conduct. Vajja charana sampanno, vajja hi charamana cha sampanno, resolution of compound. Herein, as to clear vision, there are 3 kinds of clear vision and 8 kinds of clear vision. The 3 kinds should be understood as stated in the Bhaya Vera Vera Sutra, and 8 kinds as stated in the Ambahatta Sutra. For their 8 kinds of clear vision are stated, made up of 6 kinds of discrete knowledge, together with insight in supernormal power of the mind-made body. Virtuous conduct should be understood as 15 things, that is to say, restrained by virtue, guarding the doors of the sense faculties, knowledge of the right amount of eating, devotion to wakefulness, the 7 good states, and 4 jhanas of the 5 material sphere. For it is precisely by means of these 15 things that our noble disciple conduct himself, that he goes towards the deathless. That is why it is called conduct, virtuous conduct. According to it said here, the Mahanama, the noble disciple has virtue, etc., the whole of which should be understood as it is given in the middle 50, the Majjhima Nikaya. Now the Blessed One is endowed with these kinds of clear vision and with this conduct as well. Hence he is called endowed with clear vision and virtuous conduct. Herein, the Blessed One's possession is clear vision, consists in the fulfillment of omniscience, while his possession of conduct consists in the fulfillment of great compassion. He knows through omniscience what is good and harmful to all beings, and through compassion he warns them of harm and exhorts them to do good. That is how he is possessed of clear vision and conduct, which is why his disciples have entered upon the good way instead of entering upon the bad way, as the self-mortifying disciples of those who are most possessed of clear vision and conduct have done. Sublime. 33. He is called sublime, Sugata, because of manner that is manner of going that is good. 2, because of being gone to an excellent place. 3, because of having gone rightly. 4, because of enunciating rightly. 1. The manner of going. The manner of going is called gone, Gata. And that is the Blessed One is good, sabbana, purified, blameless. But what is that? It is the noble path. For by means of that manner of going, he has gone without attachment to the direction of safety. Thus he is sublime, Sugata, because of a manner of going that is good. 1. And it is to the excellent Sundara place that he has gone to the deathless Nibbana, that thus he is sublime also because of having gone to the sublime excellent place. 3. And he has rightly gone, Gata, because without going back again to the defilements abandoned by each path. For this is said, he does not again return or go back to the defilements abandoned by the stream entry path. Thus he is sublime. He does not go again, return, go back to the defilements abandoned by Ara also. Thus he is sublime. Or alternatively, he has rightly gone from the sublime, from the time of making his resolution at the feet of Dipankara up until the enlightenment session, by working for the welfare and happiness of whole world through the fulfillment of 30 perfection and thorough following the right way without deviating towards either of the two extremes, that is to say, towards eternalism and annihilationism, towards indulgence in sense pleasure or self-mortification. Thus his sublime also became of having gone rightly. 4. And he enunciate rightly. He speaks only fitting speech in the fitting place. Thus he is sublime also because of enunciating rightly. Here is a sutra that confirms this. Such speech as the perfect one, knows, perfect one knows to be untrue and incorrect, conducive to harm, and displeasing the unwholesome to the other, and does not speak. And such speech is the perfect one knows to be true and correct, but conducive to harm, displeasing and unwholesome to others, and he does not speak. And such speech as the perfect one knows to be true and correct, the perfect one knows the time to expound such speech as perfect one knows to be untrue and incorrect, conducive to harm, but pleasing and welcome to others, but he does not speak. And such speech as the perfect one knows to be true, correct, but conducive to harm, though pleasing and welcome to others, that he does not speak. And such speech is the perfect one knows to be true and correct, conducive to good, pleasing and welcome to others. That speech the perfect one knows the time expound. Thus he is sublime, and because of enunciating rightly. Knower of the world. 36. He is knower of the world because he has known the world in all ways. For the Blessed One has experienced, known, and penetrated the world in all ways to its individual essence, its arising, its cessation, and the means to its cessation according for as it is said. Friend, there is a world end where one neither is born, nor ages, nor dies, nor passes away, nor reappears. Where is it to be known or seen, reached by travel? That I do not say. Yet I do not say that there is ending of suffering without reaching the world's end. Rather, it is in the fathom-long carcass with its perception and its consciousness that I make known the world, the arising of the world, the cessation of the world, the way leading to the cessation of the world. 'Tis utterly impossible to reach by travel the world's end. But there is no escape from pain until the world's end has been reached. It is a sage, a knower of the world. He gets to the world end, and it is he whose life divine is lived out to its term. He is at peace who the world's end has known, and hopes for neither this world nor the next. 37. Moreover, there are three worlds: world of formation, the world of beings, and world of location. Here in the passage, one world, all beings subsist by nutriment. The world of formation is to be understood in the passage, the world of eternal or world is not eternal, and it is the world of beings. In the passage, as far as moon and sun do circulate, shining and lightening up the four direction, over 1,000 times as great a world, your power holds unquestionable way. It is the world of location. The Blessed One has known that is all way too. 38. Likewise, because of the words one world, all beings subsist by nourishment. Two worlds, mentality and materiality. Three worlds, three kinds of feeling. Four worlds, four kinds of nutriment. 5 worlds, 5 aggregates as objects of clinging. 6 worlds, 6 internal bases. 7 worlds, 7 stations of consciousness. 8 worlds, 8 worldly states. 9 worlds, 9 abodes of being. 10 worlds, 10 bases. 12 worlds, 12 bases. 18 worlds, 18 elements. This world of formation was known to him all way. 39. But he knows all beings' habits, nor their inherent tendencies, nor their temperaments, nor their bents, knows them as with a little dust on the eyes, with much dust on the eyes, and with keen faculties and with dull faculties, with good behavior and with bad behavior, easy to teach and hard to teach, capable and incapable of the achievement. Therefore this world of beings was known to him in all ways. And as the as the world of beings, so also the world of location. For accordingly, these world of measure are follows. One world sphere is 1,200,000 leagues and 34,050 leagues in breadth, in width, in circumference. However, the measure of all around is 6 and 100,000, and then 10,000 in addition, 402, less half 100. Herein, 2 times 100,000 leagues, and then 4 nahutas as well. This earth, this bearer of all wealth, that has much thickness, as they tell. And it support 4 times 100,000 leagues, and then 8 nahutas as well. The water resting on the air has that much thickness, as they tell. And the support of that, 9 times 100,000 goes the air out of the firmament, and 60,000 more besides. So this much is the world extent. Such is its extent, and these measures are to be found in it. Siniru, the tallest of the mountains, probably Sumeru, plunges down into the sea, full 480,000 leagues, and towers up like degrees. 7 concrete concentric mountains rings surround the Mount Sumeru in such wise that each of them in depth and height is half its prodigious size. Vast ranges like Yugandhara, Ishadhara, and Karavika, Sudasana, Nimindara, Vinataka, Ashankana. These are the seven rings of the mountains. Heavenly breeze fan their cliffs, agleam with gems, and here as reside 4 kings of the 4 cardinal points, and other gods and sprites besides. Himalayas, lofty mountain, mass raised the height 500 leagues, and in its width and its breadth it covers quite 3,000 leagues, and when it is bedecked beside the 480,000 peaks, the Jambu tree called Naga lends its name by its magnificence. The Jambu Dipa's land, its trunk, thrice 5 leagues in circumference, soars 50 leagues, and bears all around branches all equal amplitude, so that the 100 leagues define diameter and altitude. World sphere mountains line of summits plunges down into the sea. Just 280,000 leagues, and towers up in like degree, enringing one world element all around its entirety. And the size of the Jambu rose apple tree is the same as that of the Chitrapalakaya tree of Asura demons, the Simbali tree of the Garula demons, the Kadamba tree in the western continent, Aparagodania in a Kappa tree in the northern continent of the Uttarakuru, the Sirisha tree in the eastern continent of Puva Vidya, and the Parichataka tree in the heaven of the deities, the 33 Trayatimsa. Hence the ancient said, the Patali, the Simbali, and Jambu, the deities, Parichataka, the Kadamba, and Kampa tree, and Sirsa as the 7th. Herein, 44, the moon's disk is 49 leagues across, and sun's disk is 50 leagues. The realm of Tawatingsa, 33 gods, is 10,000 leagues. Likewise, the realm of Asura demons, the great Avicii, unremitting hell, the Jambudipa, Aparagodanya, 7,000 leagues. Likewise, Puvavidyaha Uttarakuru is 8,000 leagues. And herein each great continent is surrounded by 500 small islands, and whole of that constitutes a single world sphere, a single world element. Between this and the adjacent world spheres are the Lokantariya world interspace hells. So the world sphere are infinite in number, the world elements are infinite, and the Blessed One has experienced, known, and penetrated them with the infinite knowledge of the enlightened ones. Therefore, this world of location was known to him in all ways too. So he is the knower of the world, because he has seen the world in all ways. Incomparable leader of man to be tamed. In the absence of anyone more distinguished for special quality than himself, there is no one to compare with him. Thus he is incomparable. For in this way he surpasses the whole world in the special quality of virtue, and also in the special quality of concentration, understanding, deliverance, and knowledge, and the vision of deliverance. In the special quality of virtue, he is without equal. He is the equal only of those other enlightened ones. Without equal, he is without alike, without trouble, without counterpart, and the special quality of knowledge and vision of deliverance he is without counterpart, according as it is said, I do not see in the world with its deity, its Maras and its Brahmas in this generation, with the ascetic and the Brahmins, with his princes and men, anyone more perfect in virtue than myself. With the rest in detail, and likewise the Aparapashada Sutra, and so on. In the stanzas beginning, I have no teacher, my like does not exist in all the world, all of which should be taken in detail. He guides men to be tamed. Thus he is leader of the men to be tamed. He tames, he disciplines in what is meant. Herein animal males and human males and non-human males that are not tamed but fit to be tamed are men to be tamed. For the animal males, namely royal Naga serpent, Apalala, Chulodara, Mahodara, Agishika, Dhanapalaka, and so on, were tamed by the Blessed One, freed from the poison of defilements, established in the refuges and precepts of virtues. Also, human males, namely Sachaka and Niganthaka, Jains, son and Brahmin student like Ambatta and Bokata Satyati, Sonadanta, Kuttadanda, and so on, and also non-human males, namely the spirit Alavaka, Suchiloma, and Karaloma, Sakka, the ruler of the world, etc., were tamed and disciplined by various disciplinary means. And the following sutta should be given in full. I discipline man to be tamed, sometimes gently, Kasi, and I discipline them sometimes roughly, and I discipline them sometimes gently and roughly. Then the Blessed One, moreover, further tames those already tamed, doing so by announcing the first jhana, etc., respectively to those whose virtues are purified, etc., and also by way of higher path to stream enter, and so on. Or alternately, the words incomparable leader of man to be tamed can be taken together as one clause. For the Blessed One so guides man to be tamed, that is, in a single session. They may go in eight directions by the 8 liberations without hesitation. Thus he is called the incomparable leader to the man to be tamed, and the following sutta passage should be given in full. Guided by the elephant tamer bhikshus, the elephant to be tamed goes in one direction. Teacher of gods and men. 49. He teaches by means of here and now, of the life to come, and of the sublime goal, according as befits the case. Thus he is the teacher. And furthermore, this meaning should be understood according to the Nidesha that teacher, the Blessed One, is a caravan leader. Since he brings home caravans, just as one who brings caravan home gets caravans across the wilderness, gets them across the robber-infested wilderness, gets them across the wild beast-infested wilderness, gets them across the foodless wilderness, gets them across the waterless wilderness, gets them quite across, get them properly across, get them to reach a land of proper safety. So too the Blessed One is a caravan leader, one who brings being home to caravans and gets them across the wilderness, gets them the wilderness of birth. Of gods and men, Deva Manusham, Devanan Sa Manusha Sanam, means resolution of compound. This is said in order to denote those who are in the best, and also to denote those persons capable of progress. For the Blessed One as a teacher bestowed his teaching upon animals as well, for even animals can, through listening to the Blessed One's law, acquire the benefit of suitable rebirth as support for progress, and with the benefit of same support they come in their second or the third rebirth, partake of the path and its fruition. Manduka, the deity's son, and others illustrate this. While the Blessed One was teaching the Dhamma to the inhabitants of the city of Champa on the bank of the Gangara lake, it seems a frog apprehended a sign in the Blessed One's voice. A cowherd who was standing leaning on a stick put his stick on the frog's head and crushed it. He died and was straightway reborn in a gilded divine palace. 12 leagues broad is the realm of 33. He found himself there as if waking up from sleep amidst a host of celestial nymphs, and he exclaims, "So I have actually been reborn here. What did I do?" When he sought for the reason, he found it was none other than his apprehension of the sign of the Blessed One's voice. He went with this divine palace at once to the Blessed One and paid homage to the feet. Though the Blessed One knew about it, he asked him, "Who now pays homage at my feet, shining with glory and success, illuminating all round with beauty to outstanding? In my last life I was a frog. The waters of the pond my home. The cowherd crook ended my life while listening to your Dhamma." The Blessed One taught him the Dhamma. 84,000 creatures gained penetration to the Dhamma as soon as the deity's son became established in the fruition of stream entry. He smiled and then vanished. Enlightened. 52. He is enlightened with the knowledge that belongs to the fruit of liberation, since everything that can be known has been discovered Buddha by him. Or alternatively, he discovered the Four Truths by himself and awakened others to them. Thus, for other such reasons, he is enlightened. And in order to explain this meaning of whole passage in the Nidesha, beginning thus, he is the destroyer of he is the discoverer of the truth. Thus he is enlightened. He is the awakener of the generation. Thus he is enlightened. Or some passage of the Patisambhida should be quoted in detail. Blessed One. Blessed is the term signifying the respect and the veneration accorded to him as the highest of all being and distinguished by his special qualities. Hence the ancients said, "Blessed is the best of words, blessed is the finest word, deserving awe and veneration, blessed is the name therefore." Or alternatively, the name of the four kinds, denoting a period of life, describing a particular mark, signifying a particular acquirement, and fortuitously arisen, which lasts in life. Current usage of the world is called capricious. Herein, names denoting a period of life are those such as yearling calf, steer to be trained, yoked ox, and the like. The names describing particular marks are those such as staff bearer, umbrella bearer, and top knot bearer, hen possessor, and the like. Names signifying a particular acquirement are those such as possessor of the three clear vision, possessor of the six direct knowledges, and the like. Such names as Sirivadaka, augmenter of luster, Dhanavadaka, augmenter of wealth, etc., are fortuitously arisen names, and they have no reference to the word meanings. The name blessed is one signifying particular acquirement. It is not made by Mahamaya, or by King Suddhodana, or by the 80,000 kinsmen, or by distinguished deities like Sakra and Santusika or others. And this is said by the general of the law, blessed. This is not a name made by the mother. Though this name, Buddha, which signifies final liberation, is a realistic description of the Buddha enlightened one, the blessed one, together with their obtainment of omniscient knowledge at the root of an enlightenment. 856. Now, in order to explain also the special quality signified by this name, they cite the following stanza. Bhaga Bhaji Bhaga Vibhatavata iti Akasi Bhagavaniti Karuti Bhagyava Bahuhi Naheyu Subhavita Tono Bhavantagoso Bhagavati Vachati. The Reverend One has blessings, is frequenter, a partaker, a possessor of what has been analyzed. He has cause abolishing, he is fortunate, he has fully developed himself in many ways, he has gone to the end of becoming, thus he is called blessed. The meaning of these words should be understood according to the method explanation given in the Nidesha. But there is another way. Bhagava yutto bhagechi cha vibhatawa bhagatawa bandvanta gamano bhavesu bhagavat tato. He is fortunate, possessor of abolishment, associated with blessings, and possessor of what has been analyzed. He has frequented and he has rejected, going to the kinds of becoming, thus he is blessed. Here, by using the characteristic language beginning with the vowel augmentation of syllable, elision of the syllable, or by using the characteristic of inserting the beginning with the example of Pisodara, etc., it may be known that he can also be called Bhagava, which when he can be called fortunate one, Bhagyava, owing to its fortunateness, Bhagya, to have reached the further shore of the ocean of perfection of giving, virtue, etc., which produce mundane and supermundane bliss. Similarly, he can also be called Blessed One, Bhagava, when he can be called of abolishment, owing to the following menace having been abolished, for he has abolished all the 100,000 kinds of trouble, anxiety and defilements, class as greed, as hate, delusion, and as misdirected attention, as consciencelessness and shamelessness, and as anger and enmity, as contempt and domineering, as envy and avarice, as deceit and fraud, as obduracy and presumption, as pride and haughtiness, as vanity and negligence, as craving and ignorance, as three roots of the unprofitable, the kinds of misconduct, defilement, stains, fictitious perception, applied thoughts, and diversification, as the four perverseness, cankers, ties, floods, bonds, bad ways, cravings, and clingings, as the five wilderness in the heart, shackles in the heart, hindrances, the kinds of delight, the six roots of discord, the groups of craving, the seven inherent tendencies, and the eight wrongness, as to the 9 things rooted in the craving, as the 10 causes of unprofitable actions, and the 62 kinds of false views, and 108 ways of behavior of craving, or in brief, the 5 maras, that is to say, the maras of defilements, the aggregates, the karma formation, mara of deity, and mara of death. And in this case, context, it is said, he has abolished greed and hate, delusion too, he is canker-free, abolishing every evil state, blessed is his name, may rightly be. And 60, by this fortunateness is indicated the excellence of the master material body, which bears 100 characteristics of merit, and by his having abolished defects is indicated the excellence of his Dharma body. Likewise, by his fortunateness is indicated the esteem of worldly people. By his having abolished defects, the esteem of these he resembles himself. And by his fortunateness it is indicated that he is fit to be relied on by laymen. And by his having abolished defect that is to be relied, those gone forth from homelessness, and when both have relied on him, they acquire relief from bodily and mental pain, as well as help with both material and Dhamma gifts, and they are rendered capable of finding both mundane and supermundane bliss. He is also called blessed, since he is associated with blessings, such as those of following kind, in the sense that he has blessings, bhaga, asa, asa santi. Now in the world the word blessing is used for 6 things, namely lordship, Dhamma, name, fame, wish, and endeavor. He has supreme lordship over his own mind, or be either of the kind reckoned as mundane and consisting in minuteness, lightness, etc., or the complete in all aspects, and likewise the supermundane Dhamma. And he has the exceeding pure fame spread throughout the 3 worlds, acquired through the special quality of veracity. And he has glory of all limbs, perfect in every, which is capable of comforting the eyes of people eager to see his material body. And he has wish, in other words, the production of what has been wanted, since whatever is wanted and needed by him as beneficial to himself, to others, is then there produced for him. And he has the endeavor, in other words, the right effort, which is the reason why the wholesome world venerates him. He can also be called blessed Bhagava, when he can be called a possessor of what has been analyzed, owing to his having analyzed and clarified all states into the 3 classes, beginning with the profitable, or profitable, etc., states into such classes, aggregates, bases, elements, truths, faculties, dependent origination, etc., or the noble truth of suffering into the sense of oppressing, being formed, burning and changing, and that of origin into the sense of accumulating, source, bond, impediment, and the cessation into the sense of escape, seclusion, being unformed and deathless, and that of path into senses of outlet, cause, seeing, and predominance. Having analyzed, having revealed, having shown them is what is meant. He can also be called Blessed One, Bhagava, when he can be called one who has frequented, endowed, owing to his having frequented, cultivated, repeatedly practiced such mundane and supermundane, higher than human states is the heavenly, the divine, the noble, abiding, as bodily, mental, and existential seclusion, as the void, the desireless, and the signless, liberation, and others as well. He can also be called blessed when he can be called one who has rejected going to the kinds of becoming, because in the three worlds of becoming, the going, in other words, craving, has been rejected by him. And the syllables ba from the word bawa and ga from the word gamanam and wa in this word vanta, and the letter a lengthened make the word bhagava, just as is done in the world with the word mekhala, since mehana sa kha sa mala can be said. As long as the meditator recollects the special quality of the Buddha in this way, for this reason the Blessed One is accomplished. For this and this reason he is blessed. On that occasion his mind is not obsessed by greed, obsessed by hate, or obsessed by delusion. His mind has rectitude on that occasion, being inspired by the Perfect One. 66. And so, when he has thus suppressed the hindrances by preventing obsession by greed, etc., his mind faces meditation subject with rectitude, then his applied thought and sustained thought occur with a tendency towards the enlightened one's special qualities. As he continues to exercise applied thought and sustained thought upon the enlightened one's special qualities, happiness arises in him. With his mind happy, with happiness as a proximate cause, his bodily and mental disturbance are tranquilized by tranquility. When disturbance has been tranquilized, bodily and mental bliss arise in him. When he is blissful, his mind with the enlightened one's special qualities for its object becomes concentrated, and so the jhana factors eventually arise in a single moment. But owing to the profundity of the enlightened one's special qualities, or else owing to his being occupied in recollecting special qualities and many sorts, the jhana is only access and does not reach absorption. And that access jhana, access jhana itself is known as recollection of Buddha, too, because it arises with the recollection of enlightened one's special qualities as the means. When a bhikkhu is devoted to its recollection of the Buddha, he is respectful, deferential towards the Master. He attains a fullness of faith, mindfulness, understanding, and merit. He has much happiness and gladness. He conquers fear and dread. He is able to endure pain. He comes to feel as if he were living in the Master's presence, and his body, when the recollection of Buddha's special qualities dwell in it, becomes as worthy of veneration as a shrine room. His mind tends towards the plane of the Buddhas. When he encounters an opportunity for transgression, he has awareness of conscience and shame as vivid as though he were to face with the master. And if he penetrates no higher, he is at least headed for a happy destiny. Now, when a man is truly wise, his constant task will surely be this recollection of Buddha, a blessed one, blessed with such a mighty potency. This, firstly, is the section dealing with the recollection of the enlightened one in the detailed explanation. Recollection of Dharma, number 2. So one who wants to develop recollection of the Dhamma law should go into solitary retreat and recollect the special quality, both the Dhamma of the scripture and the ninefold supermundane Dhammas as follows. Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Enlightened One, visible here and now, not delayed, timeless, just inviting of inspection, onward leading, and directly experienceable by the wise. Well proclaimed. 69. In this clause, the Dhamma of the scriptures is included as well as the other. In the rest of the clause, only the supramundane Dhamma is included. Herein, the Dhamma of the scripture is well proclaimed because it is good in the beginning, middle, and good in the end, because it announces a life of purity that is utterly perfect and pure with meaning and with detail. Even a single stanza of enlightenment teaching is good in the beginning, in the finest word, good in the middle with second, third, etc., and good in the end with the last word, because the Dhamma is altogether admirable. A sutta with a single sequence of meaning is good in the beginning with the introduction, good in the end with the conclusion, and good in the middle with what is in between. A sutta with several sequence of meaning is good in the beginning with the first sequence of meaning, that good in the middle, good in the end, and the good and last sequence is meaning, the good in the middle with the sequence of meaning in between. Furthermore, it is good in the beginning with the introduction, giving the place of origin, showing the reason for its utterance. It is good in the middle because it suits these susceptible of beings taught, since it is unequivocal in meaning and reason, with cause and example. It is good in the end with its conclusion that inspires faith in the Dharma. Also, the entire Dharma of the Enlightened One is good in the beginning and with virtue as one's own well-being. It is good in the middle with its serenity and insight, and with path and fruition. It is good in the end with the Nibbana. Or alternatively, it is good in the beginning with virtue and a concentration. It is good in the middle with insight and path. It is good in the end with fruition and nibbana. Or alternatively, it is good in the beginning because it is good discovery made by the Buddha. It is good in the middle because it is the well-regulatedness of the Dhamma. It is good in the end because it is good way entered upon by the Sangha. Or alternatively, it is good in the beginning as the discovery of what has been acquired by one who enters upon the way of practice in conformity after hearing about it. It is good in the middle as the unproclaimed enlightenment of particular Buddhas. It is good in the end as the enlightened one of disciples. 71. And when listened to, it does not go through hearing it because it suppresses the hindrances. Thus it is good in the beginning. And when made the way of practice, it does good through the way being entered upon, because it brings the bliss of serenity and insight. Thus it is good in the middle, And when it has thus been made the way of practice, and the fruit of the way is ready, it does good through the fruit of the way, because it brings unshakable equipoise. This is good in the end. So it is well proclaimed because of being good in the beginning, the middle and end. Now, the life of purity, that is to say, life purity of the dispensation of the life of purity of the path, which has Blessed One announced, which he shows in various ways, when he teaches Dhamma, and with meaning because of perfection of meaning, and it is with detail because of perfection in detail, and it is proper that it should be. It is with meaning because it confirms the words, declaring its meaning by pronouncing, clarifying, revealing, expounding, and explaining it. It is with detail because it has perfection of syllables, words, detail, style, language, and description. It is with meaning owing to profundity of meaning and profundity of penetration. It is with detail owing to its profundity of law and profundity of teaching. It is with the meaning because it is the province of the discrimination of the meaning and of perspicuity. It is with detail because it is the province of the discrimination of law and language. It is with meaning since it inspires confidence in persons of discretion being experienceable by the wise. It is with detail since it inspires confidence in worldly persons being a fit object of faith. It is with meaning because its intent is profound. It is with detail because its words are clear. It is utterly perfect. It is the complete perfection due to the absence of something, anything that can be added. It is pure with the immaculateness due to the absence of anything to be subtracted. Furthermore, it is with meaning because it provides the particular distinction of achievements through the particular practice of the way, and it is with detail because it provides the particular distinction of learning through mastery of the scripture. It is utterly perfect because it is connected with the 5 aggregates of Dharma, beginning with the virtue. It is perfect because it has no imperfection, because it exists for the purpose of crossing the river round rebirth and flood, and because it is concerned with worldly things. So it is well proclaimed because it announces the life of the purity that is utterly perfect and pure, with meaning and the wish with details. Or alternatively, it is well proclaimed, since it has been properly proclaimed with no perversion of meaning. For the meaning of the other sectarian law suffers perversion, since there is actually no obstruction in the things described there, so obstructive, and actually no outlet in the meanings described there as outlet, which is why their law is ill proclaimed, but not so the Blessed One's law, where meaning suffers no perversion, since the things described there is obstruction, and things described there are outlets, as are so in actual fact. So in the first place, Dhamma of the scripture is well proclaimed. The supramundane Dhamma is well proclaimed, since both the way that accords the Nibbana and Nibbana that accords with the way have been proclaimed according as it is said. The way to leading to Nibbana has been properly declared to the disciples by the Blessed One, and Nibbana and the way meet just as water of the Ganges meets joins the water of Yamuna, and go to where leading to Nibbana has been properly declared a disciple of the Blessed One, and Nibbana and the way meet. And here the profound path, which is the middle way, since it does not approach either extreme, is well proclaimed in being proclaimed to be the middle way. The fruits of asceticism, where defilements are tranquilized, are well proclaimed to, is being proclaimed to have tranquilized defilements. Nibbana, whose individual essence is eternal, deathless, refuge, the shelter, etc., is well proclaimed to, in being proclaimed to have an individual essence that is eternal, and so on. So the supermundane Dharma is also well proclaimed, visible here and now. Firstly, the noble path is visible here and now, since it can be seen by the noble person himself when it has done away with greed, etc., in his own continuity accord with it. When a man is dyed with greed, Brahmin is overwhelmed and by his mind obsessed with greed, and he thinks for his own affliction, he thinks for others' affliction, he thinks for the affliction of both, and he experiences mental suffering and grief. With greed has been abandoned, he neither thinks of his own affliction, nor thinks of others' affliction, nor thinks of the affliction of both, and he does not experience mental suffering and grief. This Brahman is now the Dhamma is visible here and now. Furthermore, the ninefold supermundane Dhamma is also visible here and now, since when anyone has attained it, it is visible to him through reviewing knowledge without his having to rely on faith to another. 78. Or alternatively, the view, drishti, that is recommended is proper view, samyak drishti. It conquers by means of proper view that it has the power. For in this way, the ninefold conquers defilements by means of proper view, associated with the whole noble fruition. Noble fruition does so by means of proper view, that is the cause. Nibbana does so does so by means of the proper view that has Nibbana at its objective field. So the ninefold supermundane Dhamma has the proper view, visible here and there, since it conquers by means of the proper view, just as a charioteer is so called because he conquers by means of chariot. Or alternatively, it is seeing, deshana, that is called the seen, then ditta, the sanditta are identical meaning as seeing. It is worthy of being seen, thus it is visible here and now, sanditta. For the supermundane Dhamma law, and arrest the fearful round of karma as soon as it is seen by means of penetration, consisting the development of the path, and by means of penetration consisting in realization of Nibbana. So it is visible here and now, since it is worthy of being seen, just as one who is clothable. So it's called because it's worthy of the clothes. 60. Not delayed. It has no delay in the matter of giving its own fruit. Thus, it is without delay. Without delay is the name for not delayed. What is meant is, instead of giving its fruit after creating a delay, say 5 days, 7 days, or even its fruit immediately next to its own occurrence. Or alternatively, what is delayed, what takes time, and what needs some distance, time to be reached before it can be given a fruit. What is that? It is the mundane law of profitable karma. What is that? It is the mundane law of profitable karma. This, however, is undelayed because its fruit comes immediately next to it, so it is not delayed. This is said with reference to the path. Inviting of inspection. It is worthy of an invitation to inspection, ehi passa vidi, given thus, come and see this Dhamma, ehi passa imam Dhammanu, thus it is inviting of inspection. But why is it worthy of this invitation? Because it is found and because it is of its purity. For if a man has said that there is money or gold in an empty fist, he cannot say, come and see it. Why not? Because it is not found. And on the other hand, while dung or urine may be found, man cannot, for the purpose of cheering the mind by establishing beauty, say, come and see this. On the contrary, they have to be covered up with grass and leaves. Why? Because of the impurity. But this ninefold supermundane Dharma is actually found as much in its individual essence, and it is as pure as the full moon's disk in the cloudless sky, as a gem of pure water is bleached cloth. Consequently, it is worthy of invitation to inspect, since it is found pure and is inviting of inspection. The word opanayako, meaning onward leading, is equivalent to into gerund an upanetaba, or to be inducted. Here is the exposition. An inducing upanayano is an inducement at the forepath and fruition. This Dhamma is worth inducing, in other words, arousing in one's own mind by means of development, without any questions of whether or not one's clothing for one's head is on fire. Thus it is onward leading. This applies to the above mentioned 8-formed supermundane state Dhamma, but the unformed Dhamma is worth inducing by one's own mind to become the mind's object. Thus it is onward leading. 2. The meaning is that it's worth treating as one's shelter by realizing it. All alternatively, what induces upaneti, the noble person, onwards to nibbana, the noble path which is the true inducive. Again, what ought to be induced to realizability of the Dhamma, consisting in fruition and nibbana, which is thus inducive too. The word upaneyo is the same as the word upanayiko. Is directly experienceable by the wise. It can be experienced by all kinds of wise men, beginning with the acutely wise, each in himself. The path has been developed, fruition attained, cessation realized by me. For it does not happen that when a preceptor has developed path, his co-resident abandon his defilement, nor does he co-resident dwell in the comfort owing to the preceptor's attainment's fruition, nor does he realize the nibbana realized by the preceptor. So this is not visible in the way that an ornament on another's head is, but rather is visible only in one's own mind. What is meant is that can be undergone by the wise, but it is not province of the fools. Now, in addition to Dhamma is well proclaimed. Why? Because it is visible here now. It is visible here now because it is not delayed. It is not delayed because it invites inspection. And what invites inspection is onward leading. As long as the meditator recollects the special qualities of the Dhamma in this way, then on the occasion his mind is not obsessed by greed, obsessed by hate, or obsessed by delusion. His mind has rectitude on that occasion, being inspired by the law. So, when he has suppressed the hindrances in that way already described, the jhana factors arise a single conscious moment. But owing to the profundity of law's special qualities, and else owing to his being occupied in recollecting the special qualities of many sorts, the jhana is only access and does not reach absorption. And that access jhana itself is known as recollection dharma too, because it arises with recollection dharma special quality as the means. When a bhikshu is devoted to this recollection of Dhamma, he thinks, I never in the past met a master who taught the law that led onward thus. He possessed this talent. Who possess this talent, nor do I now see any such master other than the Blessed One. Seeing the Dhamma's special qualities in this way, he is respectful, deferential towards the master. He entertains great reverence for the Dhamma and attains fullness of faith, and so on. He has much happiness and gladness. He conquers fear and dread. He is able to endure pain. He comes to feel as if he were living in the Lord's presence, and his body, when the recollection of Dhamma's special qualities dwells in, becomes as worthy of veneration as a shrine. His mind tends towards the realization of the peerless Dhamma. When he encounters an opportunity for transgression, he has vivid awareness of conscience and shame on recollecting the well-reguledness of the Dhamma, and if he penetrates no higher, he is at least headed for a happy destiny. Now, when a man is truly wise, his constant task will surely be this recollection Dhamma, blessed with such mighty potency. This is the section dealing with the recollection of the law in detailed explanation. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much, everyone. We do the dedication of merits. Ocean Pada Senede Erenda Ayana Dije Whatever Mereda Hag Meo Bebe Castan Levas Trehoda Mahayana Dije Courage Manjushre Wode Asama Trabara de Lava follow it over the Zamba Aja de Dege de Mere Mede Hexalem Body Jeda Meda Hexalem Body Jeda whatever Janju Samjor Moja Magibanam Gejurje Gevanyambam Gone Gondo Bevarajo. Thank you.